I've been involved with this program for a long time, and we just recently ran a leadership training where I challenged the scouts to do their best. And these were some of our younger boys, and I asked them, what does it take to do your best? And this was their answers. Be prepared, to care about what you're doing, to have a positive attitude, to take it seriously, to envision where you're going, to do the hard work, to be responsible, to have confidence, be open-minded, and allow others to help you redefine your best. This is the program that these fine young men have come through, and you have confidence in the boys that will follow you. Tonight is a very special day for these young men and their families, for the troop and all of us. If you're a new parent whose son has just crossed over, this may be one of the most important nights. For today is a celebration of what these young men have accomplished, and they have accomplished a lot. For that, I wish to congratulate you, Victor, Ian, Derek, and Carter, for what you have accomplished, but also thank you. We have journeyed far these last 7 years together, and you have taught me a great deal as you have journeyed on your trail to Eagle. For each of you decided on your own that when I challenged you that I wasn't doing something to you, I was doing something for you. For some, it took longer than others. But this attitude was essential for you to get the most out of your experience. I also like to thank your parents, Kathy, Alec, Bonnie, Michelle, Paul, Brian, and Anne Marie, for allowing me to expect more from your sons so that they can learn to expect more from themselves, which they have done, as demonstrated by their accomplishments and their own admissions. I also like to thank all of the other adult leaders. I'm the one who gets to stand up here, but we have deep and experienced leadership in this troop for which I am profoundly grateful, and I know the boys are as well. Boys, it's been more than parents, it's been more than 7 years since you've last stood with your son as he has been recognized in scouting. You stood with him at his crossover and again tonight as he received scouting's highest rank. He has acquired skills, developed his leadership, and cultivated his character through his participation and dedication to scouting. I ask you to be a witness to other parents for their sons about the virtues of the scouting program. It takes a very loving, patient, and understanding parents to instill the qualities in him and the young man that makes him an Eagle Scout. Please join me in thanking the parents for bringing us such outstanding young men today. Victor, Ian, Derek, and Carter, I have the distinct honor and privilege to give you the Eagle Charge tonight upon your attainment of the Eagle Scout, the highest rank in the Boy Scouts of America. Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and meaningful influences in the history of the world, and you have been found worthy of this high honor. The celebration of this award may diminish as today the ceremony comes to a close, but the responsibilities of this honor just begin. Tonight, you will once again take an oath, and as with the Scout oath that you first took as a young boy, this oath will shape your character and guide you on your path as you grow and mature as a man. The oath that you will take will end with the same words used by the men who signed the Declaration of Independence. To this, I pledge my sacred honor. You were an Eagle Scout for the rest of your life. You will now carry with you the legacy of more than 100 years of scouting, and I charge you to always carry it with honor and respect. In your brotherhood with the rest of the Eagle Scouts, your responsibility now goes beyond your fellow Scouts It travels everywhere you go. You have a responsibility and an obligation to display and promote the good values of the Scout oath and law so that all may observe you and be inspired to be like you because of your example of character and values. I charge you to pursue the future with the energy that you now possess, to use your skills and talents to promote goodwill and strong leadership. I charge you to do this at a time when the world desperately needs leaders who live by the ideals of honor and service. Now this sounds like an ominous task, but you only need to accomplish it one day at a time. I charge you to make every day count. I charge you to make your presence felt by modeling your life and actions through the Scout oath and the Scout law. I charge you to embark in each new endeavor with a strength and determination that is firmly rooted in, on my honor, I will do my best. Allow the words of the Scout oath to become the attitude in which you live your life. Lead when you can, follow when you judge best to follow, but always base your actions on a solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and a reverence for God. And whatever others may do, you will contribute to that legacy of which every Scout may be proud. Gentlemen, do you accept these charges I have placed before you? I can't hear you.
Yes.
I affirm my allegiance
I affirm my allegiance
to the three promises of the Scout oath.
to the three promises of the Scout oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will do my best
I will do my best
to make my training an example
to make my training an example
in my status and my influence,
in my status and my influence,
bound strongly for better scouting
and strongly for better scouting
and for better citizenship
and for better citizenship
in my troop,
in my troop,
in my community,
in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
and my contacts with other people.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
Again, congratulations to all four of you. It's been a remarkable journey that we have shared together. Victor, it is a privilege to speak upon your behalf tonight, and I congratulate your mom for her guidance in raising you and your father and his influence. And Victor, with your guidance, I look forward to seeing your brother Philip standing here next year. Victor, your trail to Eagle was an unusual and I would have to say tenuous one. Our families became friends because Phil and Jeffrey played soccer. Over time, Kathy persuaded the boys to join the troop, which I'm not sure you were that excited about at first. It wasn't very convenient because they lived across town, and we all know that Andover is pretty large. And you didn't attend middle school with the other pack of boys that were all together. Your attendance was sporadic, and over time, you and your brother dropped out. Unfortunately, when the older brother goes, we often lose a younger one as well. After being away nearly a year, I decided to call you back, and I said, well, what can I do? We have this trip called the Allagash, and I said, well, maybe I can get Victor to come on the Allagash. So I invited him to go with Ben and the other boys. Now, Victor was just a tenderfoot, halfway through second class. And I let him go anyway. Since I ran the trip, I could bend the rules a little bit. And you had just enough time to make it to the Eagle if you stayed on course. You returned in the spring of 2012. You went to camp, which you enjoyed very much, except I think you're the only scout who's ever successfully cut both of his thumbs. I've never seen that before. You know, it's not easy to get to be Eagle in 3 years, but you are now an example of discipline and perseverance to the other boys who might be tempted to quit. The Allagash did the trick. Victor returned with a vengeance and became a very committed scout. He advanced quickly, but he had to stay on course in order to make it Eagle. There was no slack, no leeway. Like most scouts, Victor enjoyed the trips, summer camp, venture hikes, Ragged Mountain ski trips, and of course the Allagash. The Allagash is a 100-mile, 6-day adventure in the upper waterways of Maine, and certainly our favorite trip. And the trip is transformational for many of the boys who attend, and they often write about it in their college essays. Preparation is key. The first day, it took us like 5 or 6 hours to canoe 2 miles. It's not because we were slow, but we were paddling into heavy winds and about 2.5-foot seas. And I think at one point, I think we paddled for an hour and didn't go anywhere. There was this rock that just followed us along. But the trip was spectacular. 3 days in the lake, followed by 3 days in the rivers, canoeing and playing and jumping off bridges and doing all the things that we're not supposed to do. Having dinners alongside the river, fantastic meals surrounded by wilderness and your friends. It was truly amazing. Victor held 2 formal leadership positions in the troop, first as a patrol leader for the Blue Beavers, and then as assistant senior patrol leader. The summer of 2014, he was the SBL for summer camp, which I think is one of the most challenging trips because we have mostly the younger boys and a lot of new ones that just cross over, and learning how to lead those young men is an experience. But he excelled in part because he's driven by his care and to make sure that the younger scouts got the best of their experience. Victor's leadership extends in his school and sports, and he played bass in the pit band, and he also rode crew for 3 seasons. Our boys do some amazing projects. If you haven't seen them, you should drive around the town or take hikes on the trails. For his Eagle project, Victor transformed the parking lot up at Bald Hill across from the leaf pile. It was a 140-hour project that required a lot of negotiations as he worked with the Andover Conservation Commission, the Department of Public Works, and the Avis organization. The property was on conservation land, but he was trying to get funding from Avis, which was behind it. And he had to get materials and approvals and funding for his project. All as he was, rapidly approaching his 18th birthday. And right near the end, there was some supply shortages with some of the asphalt, and he probably made about 100 calls, across the state to try to find the material. But Victor never wavered. He hit all of these bumps, but he kept going and he persevered. He wasn't going to quit. So under his leadership, the parking lot has been transformed from this uneven mud lot, which you could get caught into an asphalt shaved, nice level lot with secure fencing and a new gate that opens up to the Avis land below. So it's a site that we use often, and we will thank you every time we go there. Victor's an exceptional student, and he's now studying engineering at the University of Ohio. He's concentrating on biomedical or environmental engineering. And for the past several years, we've placed great emphasis on the Scout Oath, and I've challenged the boys to say their oath every day. And while some of his peers try to prove to me that they didn't need to do it, Victor was an early adopter. He took the coaching and the challenge, and he's taken the oath to heart. And in particular, he embodies what I believe is the core tenet of the Scout Oath: to help other people at all times, as one of Victor's core principles of his character. He has a deep appreciation for the scouting program and how it shaped him into the man that you see before you now. And he's already looking forward to his opportunity to give back. He writes in his statement of life purpose, to discipline myself to help other people live better lives. It's a pretty enviable purpose for all Eagle Scouts. Victor, on a personal note, I've enjoyed my time with you. We spent a lot of time in your journey to scouting, and yours just happened to be a little bit more compressed. You've been always coachable, and you have a sense of what this program is really about, and I now expect that you will take what you've gained here and do what it says in the 1968 Scout Book to make your life count. May God continue to bless and lead you forward, and may you do amazing things. So congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Hello, everyone. Phil, thank you for emceeing today. First and foremost, I'd just like to thank my family and all the Scoutmasters and Mr. Hunt for your support and help throughout the years, and all the Scoutmasters over there. You've done a really great job with the program, and I really appreciate everything that you guys have done for the four of us and the other Eagle Scouts in our class. As Mr. Hunt has addressed before, when I started scouting, it was a little rough. I didn't go to very much of the meetings. I didn't go to a lot of the trips. And I have to say that the Allagash trip was definitely one of the highlights so far in my life, really. It was a chance for me to enjoy nature, and I found a passion in that, something that I didn't previously have before, as well as I got to see a lot of the mechanisms of leadership work. There are about 15 people in our group traveling in a group of canoes over 100 miles, and that's very challenging to do with all of our gear and all of our food and everything like that. And so I learned a lot from that, and I got to meet a bunch of new friends. And I actually remember this one time where Derek was in a boat, and we just had taken all of our gear out, and we were in the rapids, and he was in a boat in front of me, and all of a sudden I see the front end of his boat hit a rock, and he fell over into the water with Tyler. And I ended up just coming over, hopping out of the boat, and grabbing him with a paddle. Or else he would have just been hitting rocks or something like that. But it was just funny. And the Allagash trip overall, it was just a highlight and a turning point for me, I think, in my scouting career. And after that, I had a bunch of leadership positions where I demonstrated what I could do as a leader and how I've grown since then. And as Mr. Hunt had shared with you before, I was senior patrol leader for summer camp, and that was quite an experience. Being in charge of 40 little kids running around a gigantic land of camp for a week and a half, or a week or 5 days, or something like that. But yeah, now I've had a semester of college under my belt, and I can say that definitely the scouting program has helped me with my first semester of college so far. It's definitely a new experience being far away from home in Ohio at the Ohio State University, and but I've been enjoying my classes, and I have been missing my family and friends. But having had this scouting program has definitely helped me so far, and I hope to be admitted into the biomedical program for next year, and I really hope that I never say this actually, but I'm excited to go back next semester. I'm actually leaving fairly early than most on next Saturday. So thank you again, everyone, for your help, and have a good afternoon.